Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video over on the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. Today, we're going to go ahead and play a little bit of catch up with some games that I used to play here on the channel by the name of Bleach Brave Souls. Basically, what I wanted to go ahead and do today is, over the last 10 months, this game has been constantly updating as a live service pretty much every single week to be able to release new content, and I think that a lot of the things they've released are very interesting. I saw last night they announced these new characters, the swimsuit whatevers. So I decided I'm going to make a video about it. I don't care as much about swimsuit versions, and there's some guy named Oliver who's going to talk about them, unfortunately. But they're honestly goddamn baddies. I cannot even lie to you the slightest little bit. All three of them are completely cracked out of their minds. Unfortunately, we've gotten to the point inside Bleach Brave Souls where they're now making cracked out versions of every single character, and they're basically giving the OP things in different, like, remixes, if that makes sense. So they have like 5 really good things that they expect to do on a character. So it could be like buff droplet drops, could be buff potion drops, it could be nuke entire rooms, anything like that. And so I believe Mila, she specializes in, yeah, the power link slot. So that's her whole thing. Actually, I kind of want to see your ultimate. Okay, that zoom is like, I can't say shit. Okay, someone on the K-Lab team is in defeat. I don't know why, but there are so many goddamn characters with the foot in the face of the enemy. All right, what do we got? She has medic, useful for farming because she has technique link slots. Yep, so that's exactly what it is. Plus it's plus 10, which is even better than any other one in the game. Yeah, they're just slowly increasing the benefits for everybody. And this one's a super mind link pot for mind as well. So let's see her ultimate real quick, just to make sure that we don't skip on past everything. But apparently these characters are going to be releasing in just a couple of weeks, right before the anniversary, which is supposed to be on the 23rd of July. So this is supposed to be their big bait, and often swimsuit characters do turn into that. Honestly, all 3 being buffs to drops for potions, I think is really strong bait. And honestly, if you were going to reroll right before anniversary, these would be the 3 characters to go for, because every one of them will give you drops in the future to be able to grind up more characters. And most rooms that you try and get into in co-op force you to have one of these characters. Interesting though. But yeah, in co-op, they kind of force you where every single one of the rooms says like, must have power link slot potion drops, must have technique, must have mind. So every one of these characters has that built into their whole thing. But what I wanted to go ahead and do, and primarily what I wanted to go ahead and do, those are just the characters coming up next week. I wanted to speculate a little bit on, actually this isn't the teaser. Okay, so here's the teaser for the anniversary. They end up releasing this on the 23rd of July, and honestly, I wasn't super clear on who it could be. Because when I see this, my presumption immediately goes to Getsuga Jujisho, which is the ability that true Shikai Ichigo uses when he uses both of his things, both of his Shikai, and does a proper Getsuga. But when I think about this rain and everything, it seems more like white from the arc where Masaki and Ishin exist. There's also this clashing inside the rain. See, when you watch the 1000 Year Blood War anime as well, this rain reminds me a lot of the final episode where, or not, I guess it was the episode before the final one, where Ichigo was there in the rain while Yawatch was kind of making fun of him. It was like, you have to save the Soul Society, Kurosaki Ichigo, and Byakuya is the one that says that from afar. This rain right here reminds me a lot of that scene, and it looks like clashing blades, which they did add to the anime as well. So I wonder if we might get our first versus character. It's kind of a long shot, but like a character that's a tag switching unit that's both true Bankai Ichigo and you watch would sell really fucking well. So that's kind of what I'm presuming. Even like Fullbring Ichigo Bankai versus you watch, I feel like would sell pretty well in terms of an anniversary. And we're expecting a dual wielder, which is not super common inside the series. So we'll see. I'm definitely excited. Very likely during this anniversary, I might end up doing a reroll just so that we can try and make some better content. Frankly, I've run out of resources on my main account because there was a release over the last 10 months of which I'm going to be creating a video on, and we're going to have a lot of fun with. But we'll get there when we go through the rest of what else has been released over the last little while. Okay, so next up on the docket, this one had already started playing, but this was released during the time when Thousand Year Blood War was currently on TV / Disney Plus, I guess. And we got a new Muken Aizen, which is one of the best technique characters currently inside the game. He's a normal attack using buffer. We have Yamamoto, one of the strongest, highest damage dealing power characters in the entire game, with one of the raddest ultimates of all time. God. And finally, we have a real version of Almighty that released over the last year, and he is for real. I wish I pulled him. He's a PvP unit, and honestly, he is cracked out of his goddamn mind. This banner was one of the highest value banners that has released over the last, like, I want to say 5 years on BBS. Because you watch is the top PvP unit even now, he's kind of the opposite of true, or like the Beyond Bankai version of Kenny. If you remember him, I'll just pop him an image of him right in front of the thing right now. He pretty much dominated PvP for a long time, and this guy came out better than that, to the point where he is cracked. I only pulled Yamamoto, unfortunately, but this banner, I so wish I would have went all in on, because it is rad. It was released just after the 7th anniversary as well, so this year we'll probably get a similar sort of banner just after the anniversary drop on the 23rd, probably the first week of August. So expect another one of these Thousand Year Blood War banners to come out right around that time. Now, we got 3 retrains of some old characters that were released inside BBS as well. And honestly, the main one I cared about was this guy. Like, holy fucking shit, that's rad. So Quincy Ichigo was released originally as the 2nd anniversary, like, New Year's character. And he was unimpressive. He was just okay. Unfortunately, he came out with like a first strong attack that was just not that worth it. They made a remake of him on a banner with Tensa and his dad Ishin. And his ultimate is honestly like 10 times better. He combines his powers together, the Blood Ven flies upwards, and it becomes 2 giant Seraph, like, Nephilim style wings. That looks like shit. That is not meant to be what it looks like. That's just a bunch of artifacting. But look at this. Like, this sort of, like, Nephilim style looking of the wings, I think suits Ichigo really well and shows the 2 dualities of his powers really well. I think it's really cool. And this is like a character that only exists inside BBS. So if this game dies, Quincy Ichigo ceases to exist permanently, including that ultimate with that rad ass ability. I just can't. Obviously, he was a scaled up version of Quincy Ichigo that released inside 2023. So his attacks are scaled to that point. Every one of his abilities are basically the top strong attacks in the game so far. His first being the like beam attack, his second being the big AoE similar to Mugetsu's, I believe, and then a full screen 3rd strong attack. Honestly, he is just rad. And the more important part is the fact that he exists. I don't even care about the fact that he released like a couple months ago. Alongside him, they released 2 bait characters in Tenshi Getsu and Ishin. They're also hyperscaled, so like, in 2023, every character in the game is going to be cracked out of their goddamn mind. Every premium character, every like slight increase to power, every remake, They're just going to be scaled to a point where they're built different. But because they're built different, they all turn out really impressive. Oh yeah, he does the flick as part of his ultimate. And there you go, just a tiny Getsu. Honestly, I didn't pull this guy, so I haven't seen very much of his gameplay. He doesn't seem like he's the raddest in the world. But of course, like, third filler character that's PvP focused is just the usual on banners like this. I think he's PvP focused. I think he has a DR link as well, which is damage reduction. So it just kind of makes sense he's built for one thing. Alrighty. So alongside that retrain of both Quincy Ichigo, Tensa, and Ishin, right after that banner, they decided to do a retrain of the first anniversary character to be a custom design. Kiora. Oh my god, the stab in the chest. That scene was always rad. The hidden version. Secunde Etapa got a remake as well, which I think the last one we got was the Mind one, so this one being power and being cracked out is rad. And then he goes a step beyond that. Right into the transcendence. Supete no Mure. A Brave Souls original, by the way. So yeah, they get the chance to use the designs they created for themselves and remake the ultimates in an even cooler way. I think this ultimate is actually way less cool. I forgot that this is all it is. He just kind of spreads their legs with his beams. The original version of Anniversary Kiora, his was very intentionally fancied up for an anniversary character. He was the first ever custom design made by Kubo that we ever had inside Bleach Brave Souls. And so this guy right here was the big shift that made it so we were still getting new content from Taite Kubo inside 2021 when there was no new Bleach content at all. This is before Safwi. This is before we ever had the 1,000 Year Blood War anime revealed. This is the first time that we had any new details around any new designs since, like, the first Safwi book came out years and years ago, and we hadn't even had the first book out yet. It makes me very happy that they're going back to these designs and making remakes of them. Because honestly, this is the thing that matters most when we think about these gacha games. The things they do different and the things that they choose to adapt in different ways that are especially intriguing or interesting. This character is a sign of why BBS is one of the better games out there, I feel like. It's kind of hard to say, but I like custom designs, and there's not a lot of games that do it. Oh, I got some shit in my eye. I'm like an eyelash. Alrighty, but we're gonna move on to the next one. This is another set of characters, so we got 2 more videos to show. And for this one, it's actually really important that I go ahead and grab an item. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've actually been waiting to show this for quite a while. I was waiting for myself to get back to YouTube before I officially showed it. This is the Bleach Brave Souls contest that they were running on Twitter. Several years ago, I won the one for Anniversary Aizen, and I never got a prize, and then never won last year. But for some reason, this year, they sent me the arts of every one of the new Safwi characters. So we're going to go ahead and watch the trailers for all 3 of these guys. This will include Toshiro, as well as 2 other ones. And then we'll talk about them a little bit. So yeah, they released these characters over the last year or so. And honestly, this banner I found to be really cool. I just didn't end up pulling on it because it was not worth the value. I also knew that someone else was coming up after this guy. So rad though. Like, I want to put this up on my wall right now, so I might toss it up behind here or over there. They also released Tosin, which actually is the character I got off this banner. I forgot that I pulled him. I no longer need to live in peace. I will only use this blade for vengeance. Listen, if you did that to Tokinata, you would have had a much better time. But that's just how it is. Fight your own values to be able to change yourself. And the truly immortal Bankai version of this. Does it show the full Kokyo Tenjin Myo? No, it doesn't. I kind of wish they would have. God. So this, if you have not been keeping up with Bleach Brave Souls, is beyond Bankai. It's a form of which transcends beyond what we assume to be the final state of Soul Reapers and go into something beyond. Hitsugaya's version of it, he seems to gain properties of Hyorinmaru himself. Like he becomes half dragon, which is kind of rad. Like look how cool this is. Same with Tosen, he becomes kind of similar to the bug that he was originally turning into at the end of the Soul Reaper invasion arc, the fake Karakura Town arc. And then for Sajin, he seems to just combine more with Kokyo Tenjin Myo, which is kind of interesting. I like it in terms of design, but I think he's the one that kind of got shafted a little bit here. He kind of reminds me of what Yami was. Not the coolest unit in the world when he's upgraded, but still pretty neat. And honestly, this trio was so cool, but because they dropped during a time where I was needing to save, I had to wait. Because I had said on video that I refuse to go ahead and quit this game before they release a certain character. That character was Beyond Bankai Gin. And so I saw this design, I was like, oh. I mean, I like it. It's really cool. I like the ultimate a lot. But this is what you chose? So he has two random ass snakes that seem to be part of the Hogyoku themselves. He keeps on his Rankar outfit underneath as well. He doesn't even go back to his other one that he was wearing originally as a captain. So he was not done. And then finally, a lot of people were actually really excited for Mayuri. I don't think I'm super excited, and I don't think I even pulled a copy of him when he dropped. God, that's fucking creepy though. Jeez. God, that's so creepy. But this banner I went all in on. I got 2 copies of this Gin actually, which was pretty rad. I like the effects they did here. Like he's actually bleeding out and dying. But this Gin was supposed to be the mark of my end of playing Bleach Brave Souls. That was kind of my intent behind it. And so now that I have a copy of him on my main account, what I might end up doing is a showcase officially on him, as well as a couple other versions of Gin, and then see if I want to reroll for this anniversary. And maybe from here on out, whenever a banner drops, I might try and do a showcase on the 5 of 5 fully duped out version on a reroll, just so that we can continue to archive these units. Because the thing I care about most is the fact that this design with Gin right here only exists within Bleach Brave Souls. There is no other situation in which you can pull up any other game and play as this Gin right here. This guy will only exist in this live service game up until the moment that it stops existing, and then at that moment, it will permanently be gone. This Beyond Bankai Hogyoku version being just what it is. A footnote and a moment in time for us that play Bleach Brave Souls to enjoy. So I'm excited to go ahead and get back to this game. I want to just do a marathon and catch up on the news that's been going on. That was kind of everything I wanted to cover today. That was my last video. But I'm really excited, honestly, for the future of BBS. I said over the last year that they were gonna start updating units where everything's just cracked out of its mind, and it's just been happening. But officially, I'm gonna be putting up these guys on my walls, and I'm excited to finally do so. I hadn't even taken it out of the packaging so far, so I definitely was saving it for an occasion like this, where I'll be able to return to BBS and officially say hi. Did you guys end up winning any of the prizes from the BBS contest over on Twitter? I'll probably do it again this year, so if you haven't been retweeting it, they basically have an entrance to the contest once every day. So you just got to retweet their post they put up around 3 a.m. EST. Then when you do, they'll email you or send you a thing back saying if you won or not. So let me know if you've won so far. Pretty interesting. Let me know if you've been pulling on BPS at all. I think that for me, the thing I care about most inside Bleach Brave Souls is just these designs, not even the game itself, which is kind of tough to say. I'm sorry, K-Lab. But because of that, I hope to continue to create content on this game, and I hope to continue to archive these incredible designs that are made by Tight Kubo, the official author. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Bye for now, and take it easy.